Hello, welcome back to my bench. Today I'm going to do a little extra on the SCA generator and how it works with a transmitter, a real transmitter, well, quasi-real transmitter. What I've got is I have this little Ramsey FM25, which is going to be our transmitter. It's okay. It came as a kit. They weren't very expensive, about 100 milliwatts. For my audio source, I have this little Samsung MP3 player that somebody gave me. It's just shut off just now. Just a little MP3 player from a long time ago. I've got the B-103 SCA generator from McMartin from the 70s. I've got a receiver from the 70s. This is a TR-E7 McMartin SCA receiver that they use, well, around here they use them for the radio reading service for the blind. So I'm feeding the output of the little MP3 player into the left and right inputs of the transmitter. I'm feeding the output of the SCA generator into the left input of the transmitter also, along with the output of the little MP3 player. I'm feeding the output of the transmitter into the spectrum analyzer, which is going to be here. And to feed the input to the SCA generator, I'm using the output of my computer, and it is one of my old videos. So we'll, just for audio anyway. So that's the setup, and that's how we're going to do it and see if it works. I'm feeding very low signal out of the SCA generator so as not to interfere with my main channel. If we look up on the spectrum analyzer screen up here, this is your 67 kilohertz. This is your 38 kilohertz stereo. Nothing there at this point. This little bump down here is your 19 kilohertz pilot, and that thing up there is your main carrier at 89.7. So if I turn my output down, you'll see it really won't go down very much farther. There's my output of my 67 kilohertz. We want that to be not a heck of a lot. There we go. That's good. I'm right about there. And you see it is actually bleeding over into here, into your 38 kilohertz stereo. But let's give this some audio. Put this thing up on main. I'm going to receive the main. There. So that's the main output of this, left and right stereo coming out of this little guy. You can hear that. All right. So let's switch this over to SCA. Now I want you to hear this, and you're always going to get this no matter how careful you are. You can hear that. Let me give it a little bumping. That's bleed over from the main channel. So let's take that down there. You're always going to get a little bit of that. There's not much you can do about it. It's going to be there. Because the receiver has a lot to do with it, and the transmitter has a lot to do with it, how well it's going to reject it. But let's give the SCA input from my one of my old videos.
Proof is 4. They don't do them anymore.
There we go.
In my opinion, they should. Then you've also got your clipping set up here so that you can have more or less clipping. You've got your release time.
See, whoops.
Fall apart, by the way. It has just full of stuff.
So there's your SCA receiver. And there's that.
Click the red button for a trip to space.
There's your baby.
Here in the back,
okay.
That's where all of the
SCA.
connectors
I got
are. So,
leads all over the place.
I can get this up so you can see it. Right there is all the connectors. So,
there's your SCA. There's your name.
Does not lend
So we are doing
well to this.
We've got an SCA receiver transmitter, little cheap transmitter, which I was really quite surprised that this thing would even work, that it would pass it, but it does. And you can see what it does to the spectrum analyzer, because this thing is, I've got this thing video averaging out a lot. If I stop all the sounds coming into here, we're back to what looks like a fairly normal spectrum analyzer. Anyhow, that's what I wanted to show you, that you can actually make this thing work. Put it back on the main, give it some audio. Put it down on SCA.
And see what we got. We'll just put a...
There you go. So it does work. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to register. Hit that little bell down there if you want to hear more of this stuff. Till next time.